Plaintiff Sherry Bogart has known the defendant for 20 years, and she claims he has always wanted to date her. When Sherry was younger, she was not interested, but once they reconnected after college, Sherry finally gave in. And 4 months later, the defendant proposed. She's suing him today for the balance due on a loan. Defendant Lester Walls admits that he gave Sherry a ring as a gift, but insists it was not an engagement ring because he never proposed. Lester claims he and Sherry dated for less than 6 months, and they eventually broke up because of Sherry's work schedule. Lester denies owing Sherry for anything.
All right, start with you.
Mr. Walls and I have been knowing each other for at least 20 years. Mr. Walls has been trying to date me ever since we first met when I was like 13, 14 years of age.
Did you ever make it? Oh, I guess so. He's an ex-boyfriend.
We did, Your Honor. We did. We made it.
He made it?
We did. Even when I was 13, he was actually a nice guy. Gave me a promise ring that he eventually took back. I did not want to date him when we were younger because he was a little different. He walked around with a lizard that actually scared the crap out of me.
You walked around with a lizard?
Yes. I just left it alone. I went off to college, and my mom and he share the same birthday, so he always kept in contact with my mom. My mom is a big fan of him, thought we should have been together. I was still like, no. So he and I ran into each other in our adult life after returning from college, and he was still persistent with trying to date me. So I went ahead and gave in, made sure he didn't have any lizards. This time he was into dogs, pit bulls. Still a little afraid of the pit bulls.
Did he finish college as well?
No, he didn't attend college. With the pit bulls, I was still a little hesitant, but my kids like them. So I said, let's give this a try. 4 months into our adult life dating, he asked me to marry him. I was like—
4 months?
Yes, sir. Gave me an engagement ring on my birthday, actually. We kept going into the relationship, but he would always become a little upset because I'm an independent woman, single mom, working 3 jobs, doing a lot of volunteer work, trying to start my own business, and he wants to be the man of the relationship. Not saying I was taking it away, but I didn't feel like financially he would have been able to provide for myself, his children, and mine. He needed a job, Judge.
That's the start, I guess.
So that's the start?
Especially with me holding down 3, he could have had at least 1.
Was he searching for one?
He considers flipping, buying property and fixing it up as his employment, but I only saw 1 property, so there wasn't enough money for me.
You all weren't living together?
No, sir. I have my own place and he have his own
So
home.
your feeling was we can't get married until he's financially stable like you.
That's correct.
So you want to give me some background, sir?
Yes. Well, when we was young, we knew each other, but I never had a crush or nothing like that for what she was saying. I don't think I didn't propose to her for no marriage or nothing like that on no trip. We was friends, close friends. We did date for like less than 6 months. And like I said, it didn't work because, like she said, her schedule, you know.
Oh, so you never proposed marriage to her?
Oh, no. No, I gave her a ring, but I didn't propose to her like on no knee or to ask you to marry me or nothing like that. I didn't ask her to marry me or nothing like that.
Did you give her the ring as a...
I gave her a ring for her birthday.
Okay.
It was her birthday, right?
Nothing to do with marriage?
No.
Ma'am?
We wasn't no engagement like that.
He was going around talking about we're getting married and everything.
No, ma'am. Was it an engagement ring?
It was
you
an
know
engagement ring.
It wasn't an engagement ring, sir?
No, it was just a regular ring.
Perhaps there's someone today being dishonest about that because I can't see you all not knowing whether you're engaged or not. And right. Go ahead, sir.
Yes, and as far as my employment, I have investments and I have several properties that I didn't feel to discuss with her like that. That wasn't her. As far as my income, I can sit at home all day and my money would still come. You know, she get out and she run around, so maybe that was a discrepancy with her as far as, you know, me being an investor.
Somebody's either living in the fantasy world or being dishonest. One or the other. You're suing him for $1,249 for a loan.
That's correct, sir.
This is very confusing.
That's why would he be asking
But
me
let's
for
see why he had to
money?
borrow money from you when he was making money in his sleep.
Exactly.
Of several properties.
Right.
Please tell me how that occurred.
What happened was, into our relationship, he had borrowed money from me before we had a contract, and he paid that back.
All right, you were only together 6 months. So what month did he first borrow money from you?
This was prior to our relationship. It was like 2011, 2012.
Okay, so before this second loan, which occurred in 2013,
2012.
the second loan,
Yes, sir.
he borrowed money from you in 2011.
Yes, sir.
Is that true? You borrowed money in 2011?
Yeah, she did give me a loan, I think, before.
What kind of businessman are you? You don't even know when you got loans. Did you repay it?
That's what I'm saying. I paid that back within like a month or so. Like
That's
that.
not what
That's
you
I'm saying.
said. You act like you didn't even know whether you borrowed it. 2011.
Yeah.
Come on, like you say. You didn't say nothing.
Right.
You act like you didn't know. Go ahead, ma'am. So he borrowed in 2011
Yes, sir.
and in 2012?
Yes, sir. 2011, the loan was a
Tell me she's kidding. 2012, you borrowed again?
That's what we're here for
Well,
today.
it wasn't a borrow. It was an investment. It was she wanted to go in on one of my investments with her, and she didn't. She wanted to go in on one of my investments.
Okay, what was the agreement on the investment?
That she was going to be a part of the property. She filed the property on her taxes.
What percentage?
What percentage?
Yes.
50%.
All right, and how much was it?
How much was the property?
Yes.
I paid like $9,000 for the property.
Okay, so she was going to own $4,500. How much did she invest for her 50% ownership?
$10,000.
The property only cost $9,000.
Right.
Wow.
The property cost $9,000. She was to own 50% by putting up $10,000.
Well, I might not be off with the numbers.
You're a scam artist or you're a bad businessman.
I don't have the proof of how much the property was. I know it was. I don't know exactly how much I paid for the property, but I know maybe it was around in there. It's been years ago since I bought
No, it
the
was in
property.
2000.
Since I bought the property. I already had.
Since she gave you her money, that's what we're talking about. We done heard you talk big about all the stuff you got, so we can stop that nonsense. Let's get to what you're suing him for.
Okay, so Your Honor, in May 2012, he came to me and told me he bought some property for $9,000 at an auction, probably about 5 years prior to. The property was in real bad condition. It's a condo in the Memphis, Tennessee area. He allowed me to see it. I explained to him, he said he needed at least $10,000 in order to revamp this property. So in lieu of that, he was like, hey, he calls me Bogart. He was like, Bogart, you got good credit. I had just purchased my home, Your Honor. So because I loaned him money previously and we had a contract in place, I went ahead and he paid it back. I went ahead and said, okay, I'll do this. So I went to our local bank in Memphis and I took out a loan for $10,100 in my name. So we duplicated that loan so that he could have the same responsibilities as I would have. But before that, I said, hey, you have that property, you're trying to get fixed up. I need collateral to make sure I'm in a safe place. So he quick deed half of that property to me as collateral, not as a business proposition. Why would
You
I
have
do
your loan
business with him?
document?
Yes, sir. And it states in there collateral, not a business proposition.
Sir, it says collateral.
Yes. It was collateral.
Now, who do you think? Who do you think somebody gonna believe you got all these properties, you doing so well, and you don't even understand the contracts that you signed? You say he paid all but $1,249?
Yes, sir. We got to this year, and I have emails showing where he and I went back and forth. So I would call, and he would always, I'm busy, I'm on the road, I'm planning birthday parties. I didn't want to hear that. You owe me money, I want my money. He started then talking about making little snippets. Well, if you go out with me, I'll pay the loan, and I feel like if I pay, the sooner I pay this off, the quicker you will stop talking to me. Your Honor.
What's your response, sir?
I ain't never told her no go out with her.
What's her response to the money? Money.
Oh, yeah, I've tried to meet with her several times to pay that. I got the loan down
meet
to...
with her?
Yes.
I haven't been meeting with him the entire time.
We had to go back to the bank to finalize the loan and get the paperwork notarized.
What paperwork?
Name off of the deed. The deed.
Did you pay? She don't get her name off the deed until you finish paying her.
That's what I said.
You don't even know that.
That's what I said.
And you in real estate, you pay her, then she takes her name off the deed. Did you pay her all?
That's what I said.
Did you pay her?
We haven't met yet.
What did you have to meet about? How were you paying her before?
To pay her. I had to meet her to pay her.
Yeah, you get her address. You don't have her address?
No.
You don't know how to reach her. He doesn't know how to reach you?
I have a text.
I don't want to see your text unless it says, here is the check.
Okay.
Yeah, okay.
Your Honor,
yes.
I've never met him to pay a bill. He always went to the bank without me making the payments. And
put it in your account?
Exactly.
Is that true?
Yeah, I paid.
That's how you were repaying?
Yes.
So why did you have to meet with her this time?
To finalize, to get...
No, all you gotta do is pay, and then you finalize. You don't get a thing. You don't finalize nothing until you deposit that last payment. Then her name comes off the deed. You don't understand the very basic principles of a mortgage. Yeah. And you're talking about you got all this property, this, that. You don't even know the basic principles of real estate. He's very confused. The reason I'm coming down on you, sir, you're coming here talking big and you were nothing but counting this woman out of her money. Have a good day. Judgment for the plaintiff. Goodbye.
As we saw, he's in there telling stories. I just want my money back. I do not dislike Mr. Walls. Like I said, we've been friends for 20 years. I just want my money back. That's pretty much it. And I want him to be honest about what's going on.
So why you didn't meet with me to get the money?
Why did I have to meet with you? I never had to meet with you.
Me to get the money.
I took away from my family to pay your loan.